Samsung Display, a key player in OLED technology, is now looking toward Apple rather than its own Galaxy Z Fold lineup to sustain its foldable display business. With demand for foldable smartphones declining, including Samsung's latest Galaxy Z Fold 6 and Z Flip 6, the company is shifting its hopes to Apple's long-awaited foldable iPhone. Initially, Samsung had high expectations for its foldables, but sales numbers tell a different story. The company had to scale back its sales estimates for the Fold 6 and Flip 6, dropping them from nearly 10 million units to just 7 to 8 million. And for the upcoming Fold 7 and Flip 7, projections have shrunk even further. Samsung now expects to sell only about 5 million units. These numbers indicate that foldable phones are not selling at the level Samsung had hoped, putting pressure on its display business. This slowdown in demand has directly affected Samsung Display, which has relied on the success of foldable devices to drive growth. Industry insiders suggest that Samsung doesn't foresee much improvement this year either. As a result, rather than betting solely on its own Galaxy Z series, Samsung Display is now turning its attention to Apple's rumored foldable iPhone. Samsung has been a key supplier of displays for Apple's iPhones for years, and this partnership remains strong with the upcoming iPhone 16. Now, Samsung Display is hoping that Apple's entry into the foldable market will bring a much-needed boost to its foldable display business. Apple has been rumored to be working on a foldable iPhone for a long time, but has reportedly been taking its time to perfect the technology. According to industry sources, the foldable iPhone will feature a breakthrough innovation, an entirely invisible crease. If this turns out to be true, it would be a game-changer for the foldable smartphone industry. One of the biggest complaints about foldable phones today is the visible crease that forms along the fold of the display. An invisible crease could make foldable phones far more appealing to mainstream consumers, increasing adoption rates significantly. This is exactly the kind of market shift Samsung Display is hoping for, as it is expected to be the primary supplier of displays for Apple's foldable iPhone. Industry predictions suggest that Apple could introduce its foldable iPhone as early as next year. If this timeline holds, it would mean back-to-back major iPhone launches, with Apple expected to introduce the iPhone 17 Air this year and follow it up with the foldable iPhone in 2026. A successful launch would not only solidify Apple's position in the foldable market, but could also indirectly benefit Samsung's Galaxy Z series. A rising interest in foldable devices could drive more customers towards Samsung's own foldables, especially those who prefer Android over iOS. Ultimately, this situation could turn into a win-win for both Samsung and Apple, if both companies play their cards right. Apple's entry into the foldable market could validate the form factor and bring in more users, while Samsung Display benefits from selling foldable panels regardless of which company sells more phones. If foldable smartphones gain more popularity, Samsung's Galaxy Z lineup may also see a boost in sales alongside Apple's new device. At the same time, this shift highlights a significant challenge for Samsung's mobile division. If Apple's foldable phone becomes the dominant player in the market, it could push Samsung's own Galaxy Z series further into the background. While Samsung Display may benefit financially, the brand's mobile strategy might need a major overhaul to compete with Apple's foldable innovation. If Samsung wants to stay ahead, it may need to focus on aggressive pricing, software enhancements, and unique hardware features that set its foldables apart from Apple's approach. For now, all eyes are on Apple's next move. Will the foldable iPhone truly redefine the market? And will Samsung's reliance on its biggest competitor pay off? Only time will tell. One thing is certain: the foldable smartphone industry is about to get a lot more interesting.